an ephemeral thing. It's a tangible asset that you can sit down and really have an experience with someone. So far it's been a blast. I swear it's not felt like a single day of work.
Yeah, well, that's how it should be. Andy, for people listening that are aspiring to live a similar life as yours in one degree or another, what advice would you give them, thinking about all the steps that you've made along the way and the positions you've been in? What type of advice would you throw at people in terms of, how to go about things?
There's Jim Collins, business author, he calls it the Hedgehog concept, which if you created a Venn diagram, I know this is geeky, but there's three intersecting circles. One is what you're deeply passionate about. One is what you're inherently good at, like you're just good at doing something, or you were wired to go and climb trees and be adventurous. That's your second circle. And the third circle is something that will drive your economic engine. And if you can find the intersection of those three things, and it's unique to you or me or Sally down the road, doesn't matter if it's being a musician or a yoga professional or a PhD in statistics. It's unique to each person. But I think those three intersections of passion, inherent interest, and economic reality are just important to reflect on. And to legitimately sit and think about these things. Like, what am I just wired to do? If you ask my family and friends what I love, what would they say? Mm-hmm. And study yourself as you would a textbook or a bug. And I think that's a starting point. And then starting. I think you have to start. You want to get good at something, you got to start. You want to explore for me, a photography business, you got to start taking photos. Reading about taking photos is not the same as bam, taking photos. And so I think starting to put in the work and dipping your toe into seeing what the reality is like is the only way to go. You need to start. You can sit and listen to podcasts and inspirational quotes on Instagram and read books about self-improvement or business books or whatever it may be. But until you get behind the wheel of the car and start rallying across the desert, you have no idea what it's actually like. And so my advice would be to study yourself and really figure out what it is that drives you and what you want out of your life, and then to start. And you can course correct along the way. I've done multiple other things, and I've had multiple other business ideas before I committed to the photography path. And then before the tequila path, I had a bunch of other, ideas and inventions and businesses in the outdoor space, and dipped my toe and realized I didn't want to do it. And then I found something that I've really geeked out on that I really enjoy. And I don't know what it will be like in 5 years, but I'm starting, and it's super exciting.
Yeah, well, I think that's great advice, because so many of us hesitate to start, and until you do, nothing's going to happen. And there's going to be failures along the way, but you learn from those failures and you keep moving on. It's just like when I started this podcast, I thought it needed to be perfect, and it wasn't. And I did the first one, and next thing you know, I've got over 100 episodes, and we're off and running. So thank you for that great advice.
Two rules, right? Don't bail, don't die. So don't stop unless you are stopped, unless market forces, or unless you economically are stopped. And then, that's the don't bail component. And then don't sink your own ship. If you can only put a couple hours a week into something, that's a start,
Yeah.
But don't die. Don't sell your car, put your house on the market and go all in on something that you haven't sort of tested the waters. You'll get feedback for sure. But it's such an exciting time, man. Like I said, I'm sitting in Hawaii using, Wi-Fi signal to talk to my friend in Montana. We connected in Mexico. There are so many ways to work remotely. Distributed work is becoming more and more common. Freelancers are everywhere. You don't need full-time employees for so many things, and there's so many books and resources out there to allow you to succeed if you believe. Again, back to the answer is yes. you need to believe on the front end that you can figure it out and start, and you'll find solutions. I mean, so far I've found solutions.
Yeah, well, and I guarantee you that neither one of us was thinking we'd be doing this 2 years ago. Completely different routes to market for our own, I don't know, economic wealth. You know, you're doing something completely different. You're going down a road, and I never expected to be looking out my window here in Montana at the horses running around. So, like you said, if you believe, and that's my mantra, is what you believe is what you will achieve. I got that from Mark Victor Hansen back in the 70s. But it's always played true for me. So, Andy, where can people follow along your story? I think you got some social media out there, some Instagram or something like that. Where can we find you at?
Yeah. I've got a personal feed. It's just my name. So Andy @Andy_Bardon. That's BARDON. And that's where I post a lot of, the commercial work as well as the adventure stuff that I've been talking about. That's where I'm most active. And then I've got this tequila company, just sort of starting that page up. It's called Wild Common Tequila. And so that's @Wild Common Tequila. And I'll just be posting along the way. And I'm starting, and I'm curious about your feedback, but I'm starting to think I want to almost do stories and talk about the process of building a brand as I go, and being fully kind of open about well, I messed that up, or this isn't happening, or now we're doing this, or next step is that. I'm thinking about really opening up the doors to allow consumers to sort of be a part of the experience of starting something from nothing. But I'm just chewing on it right now. But I have told some stuff in the stories there. But those are the two biggest outlets. Not really big on Facebook or anything anymore.
Yeah, well, Andy, I think the answer to your question, you already know it, because looking at your Instagram feed, I feel like I was on Everest with you. I feel like I've been to some of those ranches in Wyoming, and man, I wish I was in Hawaii with you right now. So if that's the answer to your question about putting together some stories on this tequila project, I think you should green light that. And, by the way, you have some wonderful prints for sale on your shop.andybardon.com. I think people should check them out because I know there's a few on there that I've got my eye on. So you've done such a wonderful job with your career, where you're going. I'm excited that you went ahead and launched the name of your tequila, Wild Common, so @Wild Common. And now that you said it, I'm hoping...
It's @Wild Common Tequila, yeah. You got to add tequila in the end there.
Okay.
Some rando schmo with no followers and no posts has Wild Common, and I can't get it. I've messaged 10 times. But @Wild Common Tequila. But thank you, man. No, it's been super fun.
Yeah, well, we look forward to following along and what you're going to be doing over there. And I think you'll have a great support network. So, hey, thank you for spending some time on the show. I got so much out of this. I would love to talk to you all day about climbing and some of your adventures, but we don't have that much time. And I guess I'll just have to join you for a sipper of some of your tequila when it comes out.
Well, let's do it, man. Looking forward to sharing. And I'll give you a bunch of photos to share with your audience as well. And thanks so much to everybody that's listening. Remember, it's if you're not flying, you're not trying. You gotta be open to going for it. So looking forward to hearing back in the comments if people are commenting on your feed or in your Instagram or in iTunes. Just leave a comment. Let us know what you're up to. What type of businesses are you building? What type of brands are you working for? Always curious as to who's listening.
Well, I appreciate that. We're gonna have to have you on more often, man. Good sales tip. Thanks, Andy. Appreciate it.
Thanks, brother.
Thank you for listening to today's show. It is my pleasure and honor to interview all of the guests that have been on the Answer is Yes podcast. If you have enjoyed the show, please go on iTunes and subscribe, give a rating, or simply tell a friend about the show. We also believe in the message of our guests and the positive influence of their stories. As my own mentor and coach, David Meltzer, has taught me, spend some time every day thinking and writing about the things in your own life that you have more than enough of. You will find out how blessed we really are. Please visit my website, livelifedriven.com, for the latest updates about me and what I'm doing. Plus, I post a monthly blog about the many topics on this show. This podcast can also be found there. As I learned early on in life, what you believe is what you will achieve. Thanks, Mark Victor Hansen, and thank you, and have a great week.